Today's daf, Be'ezus Hashem, is Masechta Baba Basra daf Kuf Samach Aleph, 161. And we're starting from Kuf Samach Chom and Beis. We began the discussion yesterday with something called a get mekushar, which means a tied get. So let's take a look at the picture over here. The picture of a get mekushar is you fold it and you leave a blank space, and then you fold it and leave a blank space. And we spoke yesterday the reasons why certain shtaris are done this way. But at the end of you don't fold it all the way like a fan. You leave a lot of space at the end for the regular legalese, the regular language that appears on every shtar. What they put in the folds is the date, the time, who did what, somebody lent money, etc. The important part of the document. That they fold and tie it together. But the rest of the document was a regular document. So now the question became, where in such a document will witnesses sign? So we saw two opinions yesterday. One opinion was, Rav Huna's opinion was, you see in the picture over here, they sign on the back on the blank lines on the folds in the back. So if you pick it up from the back, you could actually see Ruvain ben Yaakov Aid, right? This is the location of where the aid is, where they sign. Hi, Lewis, and we're discussing the review of the machlokes yesterday, where in a folded type of document, where exactly would the Eidim sign? According to Rav Huna, they would sign right on the fold. So you folded the document, Obviously, you left some space over here, and exactly where you sign, you would sign right over here. Reuven ben Yaakov. Hi, Sheldon.
Hi.
Reviewing the machlokes of yesterday.
Okay.
That's the one opinion is this is how you signed the folded document on the fold on the blank lines. The other opinion was that you signed the document on the back of the document along opposite the side that's written. So in this picture over here, which I sent out on the chat, in this picture over here, if you can imagine between the yellow lines on the other side of the page is written word. On that opposite the written word was where witnesses signed. Okay? So those are the two opinions. This is Rabbi Yirmiyah Bar Abba's opinion, and we're going to discuss both opinions. But one of the major discussion that we're going to discuss is very simply, if you fold a document and you have witnesses signing on the back of the document, that opens it up for forgery. Because if you have the witnesses sign on the back, like over here in this picture, then imagine you just add a couple of lines over here that the one who's holding the document can add a couple of lines that favors himself. And there's witnesses on the back. So this type of writing opens itself up to forgery. And that is the machlokes. That is the question that the Gemara is going to deal with. So here we go. The nechush, we're starting from Kuf Samach Hamid Beis, 7 lines from the bottom. The nechush, let us be concerned, Dilma Zayef, maybe they're going to write extra lines at the bottom of the tied shtar, the tied document, because of mandaboy, and you'll write whatever you want. The chasim isade, and you already have witnesses that sign on the back of the document. You see, in an ordinary document, when you write up a document, like any document, you have 2 signatures on the bottom and the witnesses, and that's it. So you can't add another line because you could write on the blank, this was left blank or whatever. But usually the witnesses are signing on the bottom. The 2 parties sign on top of the witnesses, and that's it. You can't forge anything. But if on the folded document, you actually have witnesses signing in the back, well, that opens it up to fraud, where somebody who's ever holding the document can add lines on the inner part of the document. Answers the Gemara, the Ksiv Bey Shor V'Kayam. This is confirmed and established. So what the Gemara is answering over here is a very interesting answer, that at the bottom of the document, of the folded document, they say, up and here is confirmed and established. Hakol, you see, actually they put it in the drawing over here. Hakol shara v'kayam, right over here. So therefore, you can't add a word, because if you can add a word over here, well, we know that the document ended over here. So therefore, that would be enough. So now the Gemara says, okay, but that's not always, maybe the Dilma v'nechesh, let us be concerned, back into the Gemara. Dilma kosev bay kosev my deboya. You're going to write whatever you want. V'hada kosev shara v'kayam achrina. Then you're going to write the word shara v'kayam achrina. Another time, it's confirmed and established. So what the Gemara is saying is that if the document ends over here, you'll add another 2-3 more lines, and then write the word shara v'kayam, that it's confirmed and established. Again, you'll write it twice. So again, it opens itself up as long as the document is not full to the bottom, till the bottom of the page. Then the one holding the document can easily forge the document because the witnesses are written in the back. Answers the Gemara, Chad shara v'kayam kasvinin, trei shara v'kayam like kasvinin. In a folded document, you write the word shara v'kayam, confirmed and established, one time, and if it's written twice, we know something is wrong. So therefore, you can't add anything, because shara v'kayam signifies that this was the original where the document ended. Ara, let us be concerned. Dilma mochik le shara v'kayam. The one holding the document will erase the original word shara v'kayam. Because of mind deboya, he'll write whatever he wants. Because of shara v'kayam, and then he'll rewrite the word shara v'kayam. In other words, as you can see, he'll erase this shara v'kayam, continue writing another favorable clause, and then write again. Then rewrite the word shara v'kayam. And by erasing it, you can, because there's witnesses signed on the bottom, and this witnesses is only on the back, and there's extra room on the bottom of the page over here, because the folds only occur on top of the document. So that, again, opens itself up to forgery. And says the Gemara, very simple teretz. Once you see that something has been erased, it's obvious. It's not like it's not like you could easily erase something and nobody's going to notice. And once we see that, we automatically disqualify the document, because Amar Rabbi Yochanan said like this: Tuluya mikuyas keshera. If you have a word that was forgotten to be written in the document, and the soifer, the scribe, wrote like an arrow pointing to a word that's supposed to be in between two words or something like that, and then it's ratified and confirmed on the bottom of the page, then ksheira, then the document still remains valid, kosher. Then we go to Kaf Samach Aleph Amar Aleph, Machok, but if you see that it was erased, pasol, then it's disqualified. Once you see that there's some playing around with the actual written word of the document, that some part of it was erased, we already disqualified the document from what's beyond that erasure. Even if it's considered, even if it's, it has a stamp of approval that it's a kosher document on the bottom, we're going to disqualify it. V'loi amru, and they didn't disqualify any eraser on a document, because that's a very big thing. Because think about it, writing was such a tedious process. So you definitely had, chances that the scribe would make a mistake. What do you mean? He has to keep redoing it again till it's perfect? So, no. We're only saying that erasing is a sign of disqualifying the document only if the eraser appeared where it could have said shara v'kayam, where it could have said that this is the end of the document, confirmed and established. But if let's say you're on the top 3 lines of the document, some word is erased, it'll still be a kosher document. We didn't say when you erase part of a document, it's disqualified. Only at the end of the document, where it could have said confirmed and established. And even if it's the smallest, if it's just those 2 words where it could have said confirmed and established, if that point is erased, then we disqualify. So at that point, we tell the scribe, you better be 100% careful when you're writing those words. So at this point, right over here, where it's close to the bottom of, and if we find that this is erased, then we'll disqualify the entire document. If you have an eraser part, like as you can see on the screen, on the top of the document, then we'll be okay with it. But if it's erased over here, then we're going to disqualify it. So therefore, your questions to be concerned about, according to Rav Huna, that you're going to erase something, and then add whatever you want because the witnesses are written in the back of the document. That's not a problem because once we see that it's erased, we're going to disqualify the document. The Gemara asks the question, Ula Rab Yirmiyah Ba'aba. The opposite question is according to Rab Yirmiyah Arba. The Omar, who said, Achori Haksav Kneged Sav Mi Bachutz. He said that the witnesses sign on Achori Aksav Kneged Aksav Mi Bachutz. In other words, like you can see in the picture, that the witnesses sign, according to Rabbi Yirmiyah Abba, wherever opposite it's written. In other words, if you see the picture over here, on the other side, if it's written words on that document, so the witnesses will sign opposite the written word on the document. So as you can see, Reuven ben Avram H, Shlomo ben Yitzchak H, whatever. So now, we always, again, will have concerns again. Dilma, Kosev Megavoy Mandaboy. Now, the problem that you don't have a problem of forgery is because witnesses will always sign, basically, they'll keep signing their names wherever it's written. Wherever there's a written word on the other side of the document, you have a witness sign on that line on the other side of the page, right? So they'll sign all the way down. But the question is, maybe the document will end, let's say, in middle of the page, and this guy is going to add words and get other people to sign on the back of it. And so he forged it. He'll write on the inside of the document whatever he wants. And he'll add extra witnesses on the back. Extra ones from the back. He'll get a friend to sign, a couple of people who are in on this. So to make a clause there that's very advantageous to him. And you can ask him, why did you have so many Eidim? You're only supposed to have 3 Eidim. He'll say, I just wanted to add more witnesses to the document. Well, why not? You say you need 2, at least 3. I'm going to get much more than that. I'm going to get 10. So maybe thereby be concerned that you're going to add more clauses to your benefit and then get witnesses to sign on the back of the page. Amalei. So the answer is you can't do that. Mi savret Eidim Kisidron Chasima. Are you saying that the Eidim sign on the back exactly mamish opposite where it was written? Eidim imata lamala Chasima. They're signing from bottom to up. Now this, you need a picture. So when you look at the picture over here, assuming, let's say in this picture over here, the bottom line is the bottom page, the bottom of the page is the bottom line of the document. The document is written, and then this is the last line on the other side. And the Eidim sign this way, upwards. So if he's going to add something over here on the bottom, well, there's no Eidim written there because they know the line originally, the inside of the document ended over here. So if he goes on back onto the inside of the document, starts writing another line, well, there's no witnesses signed over there. In fact, if the witness would have signed, they would have lowered their signatures to the bottom of the page. So it must be that the document ended here. So that prevents any type of forgery. Says the Gemara, V'leichish, you still could be concerned. Okay, how can you be concerned that this forgery going to happen? Dilma maybe misrami reusa b'shita achroina. The guy is lay l'shita achroina. The guy is lay l'ruvim b'hadei u'maskashem ben Yaakov. What he maybe the one holding the document has the clause on the last line is disadvantage to him. So he wants to cut the bottom of the page. If you cut the bottom of the page, basically, you're going to cut the last line. And let's say you have Reuven ben Yaakov is the witness. So you're going to basically cut the last line. So you'll just cut out the word Reuven. The guys lay Reuven. And therefore, what's it's going to say? The son of Yaakov, the witness. And wait a second, would that make a document kosher? If an aide who's supposed to be a witness, instead of writing his first name, he wrote that I am son of so-and-so and I'm a witness. Would that be kosher? Well, if you could recognize his handwriting, that's signing it. It's like just signing your last name without your first name. The Tanan, that makes it a kosher document. The Ben Ish Ploini Aid, if you say, I'm the son of so-and-so Aid, kosher. That if you write, I'm the so-and-so, son of so-and-so, and you didn't write your first name, the document is still kosher. So the Gemara's question is, let us be concerned that he's gonna cut out the word Reuven, because he doesn't like I'm writing in the picture, and it's just gonna say Ben Yaakov something, and that because he was able to cut it, that makes the document more advantageous to him. Answers the Gemara. We go back to the over here. Amalei. The answer is the ksiv. We solved that problem. The ksiv Reuven ben bechadara. We're going to write the Reuven the son on one line. The Yaakov ilovei, and Yaakov the witness on top of it. So if you see the picture, very simple. They figured out everything. You write like here. If this is the last line, if the bottom yellow is the last line on the inside, you're going to write Reuven ben. And then it's going to say Yaakov Aid. So when he's going to cut the last line, he's basically cutting out the word Reuven son. So it will not be kosher by just writing the word Yaakov Aid because he's not Yaakov. And everybody knows this is Reuven writing it. So it won't be a kosher star because you didn't write the son of Yaakov Aid, you wrote Yaakov Aid. So nobody has an incentive to cut that last line because you're cutting out two words of the witness's name, Reuven ben. That's the Gemara's teretz. So the Gemara says, not true. Yeah, V'leichish, you could still be concerned. Dilma gazas le Reuven ben. You're right. He's going to cut the word Reuven, son of. Umiskasher, and it'll be kosher, be Yaakov Aid, because the word Yaakov Aid, that is enough to make it kosher. The Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, Ish Pliny Aid, kosher. If you write, I am Yaakov the witness, it's kosher. And therefore, let us be concerned that maybe people think that Yaakov is the witness over here because he cut out Reuven ben. Okay? Now, if you write Reuven ben Yaakov, you don't have to write the witness because that understood that you're a witness. But if you're writing Yaakov, then you have to write the word aid, that you are a witness. So since you cut out the word Reuven ben, you could still make get this document kosher by saying Yaakov the aid. Answers the Gemara, the like siv, the Tanah. We learned in the Mishnah, Ish Pliny aid. If you write, I'm just the so-and-so, the witness, it's kosher. Answers the Gemara, the like siv aid. We don't write in the tied document the word aid. We just leave it blank. So we only sign on a tied document, Reuven ben Yaakov. And we write it in such a way, like Reuven ben on one page. We don't write the word aid. And therefore, if they cut it, it's just going to say the word Yaakov. And if he cuts the last line because he doesn't like it, it's just going to say the word Yaakov, as you can see in the picture. And therefore, it's not going to be a valid document. So we avoided any forgery. The Iba Yisema, if you want, I can tell you. La'olam, really, the Kosovate, that they did write the word aid, right? The Yabinam, but we know, Baha, the Chesimis Yada, we know the handwriting of the person. We know that it's not Yaakov's handwriting, it's Reuven's handwriting. So why is he writing Yaakov, the witness? So Lav, we're going to know the Lav Yaakov. We're going to know that the handwriting is not Yaakov, it's actually his son, and therefore, we're going to disqualify it if we just see the word Yaakov aid. Yaakov aid with Reuven's handwriting, we're going to disqualify it because we're going to assume that something was cut off from this document. Says the Gemara, how are you going to assume something was cut off from the document? Vidilma, let us assume B'shmei Davu Chasam. Maybe he never wrote Reuven ben Yaakov. He only wrote Yaakov. And sometimes people sign with their father's name as a way to identify themselves. Answers the Gemara, that's very strange. No person will leave his own name and sign his name with the name of his father. Every person has their own identity, so nobody's going to sign his name just using his father's name. So if you just see Yaakov Aid in Reuven's handwriting, you know something was cut off from this document. It's not that Reuven signed his name, Yaakov the Aid, because Reuven will not use his father's name to sign. So the Gemara says, but sometimes people use, instead of signing their names, people use a symbol for their name. And therefore, if you're using a symbol for your name, that's the way you sign your name. So sometimes the question is, maybe he didn't sign using his father's name. Reuven signs with the symbol called Yaakov. That's his symbol. Now, where do you see that people sign their documents with symbols? So Gemara says, "V'dilma Simona ba'almahu deshavim." Maybe people are signing their names just using a symbol. The Rav Tsayor Kavra. When he would sign a document, again, Rav probably signed many documents, so he didn't want to be busy writing out his name. It's a waste of time. So he wrote a fish. He drew a fish. It was probably easier for him. Rab Chanina Tsaya Charusa. Rab Chanina would draw a palm branch or palm tree, palm branches. Right? Palm branches. I'm not sure. We're not sure why they used that symbol. But Rav Chizda used the samach. When he signed his name, he used the samach because you can see his name has a samach into it. Rav Ashaya wrote an ayin. When he signed the document, he wrote an ayin. Rav Baravuna machusa. Rav Huna probably liked ships, so he used the mast of a ship. He quickly drew a mast of a ship. And that was his of a boat, and that was his signature. So we see that people don't necessarily sign their name on a document. They actually will use a symbol to represent his name. So even if you would see Yaakov Aid on the bottom of the document, on the back of the document, will validate the document because a person, even though I know it's Reuven's handwriting, maybe he's using his father's name as a symbol for his own name. Not that he's signing with his father's name, but he's using his father's name as a symbol. So the Gemara says, no one has the audacity to use his father's name as a symbol for his own signature. If he would think of if he wants to use a symbol for a signature because he signs a lot of documents, he would use a flower, a car, or something like that. But he wouldn't use the word Yaakov. So again, the Gemara established one way of how to get around forging a document. You write Reuven Ben, and sometimes you can write Yaakov Aid over here, and we'll know the signature. But that's way that prevents anybody from cutting off the last line. That was one way to get around it. Then the Gemara says, Marsutrama Lama Kulahai. What do you have to come up with this whole way to get around cutting the document? Kol Makusha She'ein Eidiv Kolam B'Shita Achas Pasol. Any Thai document where the witnesses don't end on one line, it's puzzle. So actually, as you can see in the picture, they drew out their whole names throughout the whole thing. So if they would cut off the bottom, they have to sign their names mamish one on the same line that each one signed on their follow each one straight through, and therefore you can't add something at the end of the line because there's no signatures opposite that, and you can't even cut it off because if you're going to cut off one line, you're cutting off all the witnesses, and you're going to be cutting off this witness. That's very odd that everybody signed their name Ben Yitzchak, Ben Avram. So you'll be cutting Avram, Reuven, Shloimeh, Yekasiel, and if you cut off this part, then it'll estrange all the witnesses. So therefore, that prevented any forgery, even from a Thai document, according to the opinion of Rabbi Yirmiyah Bar Abba. So this ends Daf Kuf Samach Aleph. Okay, we'll stop over here.